my channel, Alex in the Sunlight. I'm Alex and I'm so happy to see you. Please like this video, comment down below any requests or ruminations you may have, subscribe so we can spend more time together, and please consider becoming a patron over on my Patreon. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so the purpose of today's video is to gain some insight into our love lives. If you have a question about your relationship, your romantic relationship, should you stay, should you go, kind of like what is the climate surrounding your love life right now. Okay, so before we get started, I ask if you've already chosen your pile, that's fine, but I ask that you humor me and just close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose, filling the chest and the belly with air. And ask your higher self, your spirit guides, or your angels to aid you in choosing the correct card for you so that when you open your eyes, the cards, the pile that you are drawn to is the right one for you. Okay? All right. So group 1, Tiger's Eye. Group 2, Howlite. Group 3, Carnelian. And group 4, Rose Quartz. Okay, let's get started. Hi, group number 1. Those of you who chose Tiger's Eye. Okay, so a couple of things before we get into the cards. I'm feeling two things. One, the ball is in your court. Three things actually. Second thing is, this is a time of transformation in your love life. And third thing is, the relationship you need to focus on the most is with yourself. I feel like with you guys, either you just got out of a relationship that was a part of a cycle that you've had, or maybe some of you aren't in a relationship, but you've had this cycle where you've gotten into relationships that you knew either on a conscious level or on a subconscious level weren't right for you. I get this feeling like you guys are in your head a lot. I'm getting a lot of earth sign energy, and also water energy, so very giving signs, very giving of themselves, their time, their energy, their home, their money, like very giving signs, and are very used to being caregivers or nurturers or problem solvers for everybody else. And if you become attracted to people who exploit that within you, it can build up a kind of imbalance kind of energy within your romantic relationships, right? But I'm feeling, like I said, or if I didn't say it, I was thinking it, this is ending. And like I said, I think either consciously that you've been doing this or that this has been a pattern, or subconsciously, but either way, you're smart and you know that you don't need to be doing this anymore and that you don't need to be allowing this kind of energy anymore. Some of you are in a relationship, and that's what I mean by the ball's in your court. I feel like things have been out of balance and the people or the person that you've been involved with don't really deserve you, just gonna say. Or it's not even about deserving, it's just you guys there was just an imbalance. I don't know if it was because of personality traits. I don't know if it was because, you cared more about them than they do about you, but there's just been some feelings of, I feel like you guys have been through it with your love life. And most of us have, right? Who has had a perfect love life? But I just feel like with you guys, you're getting to this place where you're just kind of like tired. Like you're just like, I'm so done with this. And it's a good sign, because I think that you are done with it. So either you're in a relationship and, like I said, the ball is in your court, whether or not you want to give this person or these people a second chance. is up to you, but you need to make clear boundaries if you're going to continue. If you're going to stay with them, you need to make clear boundaries, and you not set ultimatums, but there needs to be like healthy consequence. Like, I'm not going to keep doing this dance with you, right? You need to know that, like, I'm at my wit's end and I'm done with this cycle. So something's got to give, something's got to change. Or if you've just gotten out of a bad relationship and you're just reflecting on all of the bad ones that you've been in, that reflection will do you good. You're going to come up with some downloads and realize what you need to make, what changes you need to make in order to let that phase of your life go in regards to your love life. And for those of you who are single and wondering, like, what's going on with my love life? When am I going to get somebody else? Blah, blah, blah. There are things that you've got to work on before that can happen. And it's primarily to do with your self-love relationship. You need to, like I said, the relationship you need to focus on right now is the one that you have with yourself, regardless of if you're single or not. Okay, so the overall energy of this reading is the crown chakra, with lovely purple. I love this. So to me, when I see the crown chakra, I'm like, okay, yeah, you're in your head, you're ruminating, you're thinking about all of this stuff in regards to your love life. And like I said, I'm getting a lot of earth and water sign energy, naturally overthinking, overanalyzing, or daydreaming, or thinking about the past comes naturally to those signs, right? So I think overall with your love life, that's where the energy is kind of situated. Like, that's where it's living right now. It's in your head. And that might also be the key to moving past whatever blockages or whatever cycles need to end, is working on your crown chakra, working on your healing in this area. Self-talk, like the kinds of things that you say around if you're a lovable person or not, or the things that you deserve or what you want out of life. Mind your self-talk. But it says on the card, the frequency of the crown chakra, the violet flower of life, supports our spiritual connection to the universe and our ability to transmute negative energy into light. Beautiful, right? Like I said, it hasn't been so great, but you're moving away from that. You're able to transmute that negative energy that you've had from past relationships, and it'll make you a stronger partner to yourself and to someone else or other people in the future. Okay? So let's move on to the tarot cards that you pulled. The first is the Five of Cups in reverse. So, like I said, and in this deck, the Wildwood Tarot deck, it's the Five of Vessels. This is what she looks like upright. So in traditional tarot, this card is dealing with kind of unhappiness. To me, it's like unhappiness, and it's like being kind of like miserable with your situation. Like, you're just emotionally just not there. You're emotionally unfulfilled. You may be throwing pity parties and things like that. But in reverse, you're coming out of that. You may be realizing, like with this crown chakra, you may be really thinking about the past and past relationships, or if you're in a current relationship, you may be thinking about what you or your partner have done to each other, etc. But it's coming from a place of ownership, like you're owning your decisions, and you're realizing that your choices and the people that you choose to spend time with, they have real implications on your life. And relationships people like to say they're messy, and it's not really necessarily like they're messy. To me, it's like watercolor, right? It's very difficult to not get the colors to blend in together when it's like water. So, and to me, emotions are water. Water is difficult to control. We can't necessarily, we can plan and we can prepare, and we can think that we know our partners. We can think we know ourselves inside and out, but honestly, you are changing each and every day, even when you don't notice it, because they're usually in very subtle ways. And I'm seeing lots of change here. So I'm feeling like, with this Five of Cups in reverse, you're probably thinking about the past, thinking about past mistakes or past hurts, but you're not wallowing. You're just like getting some realizations, and I feel like you're realizing like you don't want to do this anymore. You know what I mean? The next card you pulled is the Six of Stones or Six of Pentacles upright. What's funny is in this deck, it's called exploitation. But in traditional tarot, Six of Pentacles is actually a really harmonious card. It's talking about generosity. It's talking about financial success and harmony. So I think it's very telling that in this particular deck you pulled it and it says exploitation, because like I said in the beginning, I feel like you guys are very giving. You're giving of your time, your space, your energy. And if you are choosing or attracting partners that aren't in their own alignment, or aren't in the position to recognize how giving you are, or aren't in the position to feel any kind of gratitude, and don't get me wrong, I don't think that we should do things for others because we expect to receive, or because we expect to be praised, or like, oh, you're so grateful. I think, true giving, it tends to come like from just like a very like sporadic, or like a natural place. We're not really thinking about doing it because we're like, oh yeah, well, if I do this for them, they're going to do this for me. That should naturally happen, but it's not because you're expecting it or because you're demanding it. It's just that is a natural ebb and flow. That is a natural give and take. So when it isn't that way, it becomes exploitative and balanced, right? So it could be a double meaning that regardless, you are going to be okay. Regardless, your energy is very harmonious and very generous, so you attract that good karma. But it could also mean, like I said, in romantic relationships, you may have been allowing yourself to be exploited or to give too much when you really should focus on yourself, at least a little bit more. The next card you pulled is the Wanderer in reverse. This is what he looks like upright. In traditional tarot, this is the Fool, right? Taking a leap of faith. So you may have been attracting people, and you could have been ignoring some very real signs, some very real red flags, but you were trying to have faith and like see the good in them and just give them the benefit of the doubt. And it may not have been, I don't want to say it was a mistake, because I feel like we learn, right, through our mistakes and through things that have negative consequences. Well, it teaches us. So I don't want you to think that like, you've been out here not doing what's right for you, because at the time you did what was right for you. But I do feel like you're feeling it now. You're like feeling like, I shouldn't have done that, or that person didn't even whatever. So I think that in the future, put him upright. Put yourself upright. When you're taking these leaps of faith, make sure that you are strong enough to catch yourself if you fall. Okay? Like I said, I feel like with you guys, the relationship you need to be focused on the most is the one that you have with yourself, regardless of if you are with someone or not. And like I'm telling you, the ball is in your court. So if you are with someone, they need to know that they need to communicate with you. You guys need to communicate and figure out how to make this more balanced and more harmonious. And there needs to be a natural give and take. Like there can't be this, like I'm hearing like, don't be petty. If there's been like petty stuff going on, like that has no place in romance. Like if you're with someone, it should feel like, like teamwork, like you guys have each other's backs, and it's not like, it shouldn't be competitive. It shouldn't be one person is just so enamored with the other, and then that other person is just like taking it in and like feeding their ego, and then like, just ignoring you. That doesn't make for healthy soil for either of you. So there's no need to point fingers or like blame anybody. I'm not saying that. It's just sit with yourself, go through go over these thoughts that you're going over, and pay attention to how you're feeling and what you're thinking, because I'm feeling like you guys may not have done that in a while. When was the last time like you really just heard yourself? Or if you're struggling to feel loved or understood or accepted, when was the last time you made yourself feel loved, understood, and accepted? The next card you pulled is the Lovers in reverse. There's a lot of reversals here. This is what it looks like upright. So put right, the Lovers, is a beautiful card. They're entwined. They're in this, the beautiful dance that is entering into a union with someone else, or entering into a partnership with someone else. So in reverse, this just really reminds me of the imbalance. And I feel like it's also coming from, you may be attracting people who can't fully love or accept you because there are parts of you that you were either trying to hide or that you don't love or accept. And I don't think that we all have to run around like being like, I love myself, I'm the best, in order to find people who are good to us. But I also feel like energy matters, and for every victim there will be a villain, you know what I mean, and vice versa. If you have been, like I said, watch your self-talk. If you've been downing yourself or super self-critical, or if you are trying to give so much of yourself to be a people pleaser and you're really not paying attention to your own needs, that energy just may be like a breeding ground for other people doing the same, treating you how you treat yourself, basically. Because you may not even have the wherewithal, or you may not have, because I feel like you're stepping out of this, you may not have had the wherewithal to explain or to convey to someone else like what your needs were if you weren't meeting them yourself. You know what I mean? Because this reminds me of like, the Lovers in reverse is like unrequited love, or like infidelity, or things gone sour. And if that is what's going on with us, we have to look at the relationship we have with ourselves, to me, in my opinion. But the next card you pulled, or for the goddess cards that you pulled for your advice, what the goddesses advise. And the first card is Hestia, home, in reverse. This is what she looks like upright. See this purple? It reminds me of the crown chakra here. So right away that says to me, like, if you are living with this person, or if this just may even just mean, your energetic body as your home, like the environment isn't conducive to harmonious, and fulfilling give and take kind of love. You know what I mean? I just think that you've got some healing to do to put this right. But let's see what it says in the book. Are you surrounded by clutter in your home or work? Do you have objects or clothes that have negative stories attached to them? Every object holds energy and tells a specific story. The pants that don't fit shame you. The gift from an ex-partner taunts you with disappointment or resentment. The books you will never read shout at you. Who needs this cacophony? The goddess Hestia, who rules the hearth, offers you this alignment task. Do a thorough house cleaning. Declutter and make space in your environment. Do the same for your mind, too. Your mind might be cluttered with old stories that have no value for you now. Walk away from situations you know you don't belong in. Get rid of all of it. When you remove the superfluous distractions, it's amazing how your intentions come together like magic. Make space for the miracles the goddess Hestia has in store for you. Yes, it takes work, but it's worth it. Right. So, like I said in the beginning, I feel like for you guys, you have some work to do with your relationship to self, and that is going to bring about the changes that you're seeking, or the love that you're seeking, the the safety, the security that you're seeking, right? So declutter, like get rid of it. I know that you might be ruminating. I know that you might be thinking about the past or past relationships, mistakes, whatever, past hurts, and you just may be in a place where you're a little down about it, but you don't you don't have to be. As soon as you start decluttering, as soon as you start making space, it'll feel like a weight is lifted. So take your time. You don't have to rush, but just remember that you've got a way. There's a solvent waiting for you. There's some solace waiting for you. But the ball is in your court, like I said. The last card you pulled is Saraswati in reverse. Mastery is what she looks like upright. So, like I said, like I keep saying, you guys need to focus on you, the relationship you have with yourself, because this in reverse is telling me that there are things that you should be focusing on, whether they have to do with love or not. They probably don't. They probably have to do with your life purpose or your work, or things that are outside of your relationships, your love relationships, your romantic relationships. And you may have been dropping the ball a little bit, or just frazzled, or unfocused, because you're so worried about all of this stuff going on over here, But once you focus over here, once you start getting your mind right, once you start decluttering in your space and within, you know, it'll open you up to mastering what it is that you need to master. And I feel like that kind of thing, like really focusing on your strengths, your talents, your gifts, your hobbies, your interests, imbues you with a confidence that imbues you with a strength that will attract people who are going to respect you. You know what I mean? But I feel like that's what you're moving towards. You're moving away from here and like really coming into your own, I feel. But let's see what it says in the book. Are you someone who begins things with great enthusiasm, but when you realize the scope of the situation, you move on to something else? Could it be you're dealing with someone like this? Ambivalence is something to be careful of at this time, as you recognize you need more knowledge and energy than what you have to move forward competently. The goddess Saraswati reminds you that there are no shortcuts on this journey, and partial knowledge does not make you a master. In fact, your alignment task is to stop working in such a scattered way. It's time for some deep diving into the subject of your inquiry to really get a command of the terrain. Offer the commitment of your time and energy, and you will feel the surge of power as you move into a more masterful role in all areas of your life. Stick with it. Keep learning and keep practicing your craft, your heart commitment, your meditation, and your self-expression. Stay present to it all, and you will be glad you did. Right, like I was saying, it's going to take some work. It's going to take some time, but it's necessary, and you owe it to yourself. Especially since you've been spending so much time on other people, right? Why can't you do that for you? And I don't want to I feel like I hear some of you like thinking that people need you. They don't. It's not like that. You need you, okay? And you don't want to stop anyone else's growth or stop your own growth by enabling bad behavior, or by enabling imbalance, or like negative emotions, or just distrust and feeling unsatisfied, like that's not going to get you where you're trying to go. Okay? So with you guys, like I said, it's up to you, and you really have much more power than you think. So realize whether you are with someone or not, you need to focus on you. The relationship you need to be most attuned to is the one that you have with yourself. Okay? And that will bring you the love and the happiness that you're seeking. Okay? All right, you guys, that's all I have for you. Group number 1. Find some tiger's eye if you don't already have it and wear it or sleep with it under your pillow. Find some crown chakra frequencies to meditate to or to sleep to or just have on in the background when you're doing whatever you're doing. Journal, write down your thoughts, write down your feelings, and find some practices that make you feel empowered, that drop you into your body, that drop you into the present moment, and make you feel good and confident about yourself, so you can stand up for yourself and demand the respect and, the love that you deserve. Okay? Thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy with me. I truly appreciate it. The magic in me honors the magic in you. Be well. Bye. Hey, group number 2, those of you who chose Howlite. Okay, so just right away, what I'm feeling from you guys is you're very alive, and when you feel, when you love, like you do so very, very strongly, almost in a very chaotic way. Like, I feel like with you guys, your love life feels very like just like pulsating. Like there's just, I'm feeling this very fiery energy. You guys may be fire signs here. I really wouldn't be surprised if a majority of you were fire signs, but it's become a little bit, it's imbalanced, but it's like a specific kind of imbalance. It's like you're so hot, it's burned you. You know what I mean? It's funny because you chose Howlite, which is a stone that helps with sleep. So it's like, I feel like, you guys need to take a nap. But anyway, the overall message for you guys is passion. I don't feel like you are the type of people who lack passion. And if it could be one of two things. You are naturally very passionate people or a very passionate person, but in this certain area, maybe whether you're single or not, you're just feeling like there's a lack of passion and it's caused you to feel very like frazzled or very at odds ends. Like your communication isn't the best, and like the way that you're expressing isn't really you at the moment, or you're like on passion overload, and like I said, you're burning so hot that like you've just scorched yourself. But either way, that says to me that you need to rein it in, like figure out what is it, what really, makes you feel excited about living life and loving. Okay? The card says the frequency of passion reminds us that beneath every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within this intensity, moving us from chaos to the calm of its core, where we can let its long-lasting wisdom fill us up. Yeah, this is like I said, focus that energy. What are you actually passionate about? What actually, ignites you, really makes you feel, what makes you feel loved? What do you need to feel loved? And how do you love others? How do you show that? I feel like you need to pay attention to that at this time. But it's looking good. You've got 2 number 34s here, which equals 7. So I feel like you're going to come out on top either way. But the first tarot card you pulled is the Page of Arrows, or the Page of Swords in reverse. That's what it looks like upright. So yeah, like I already touched on a little bit, communication. You may not be communicating with your partner in the best way, or you know, if you were single, you may feel like blocked from really expressing who or how you feel or the things that you're thinking, your ideas. And when we feel blocked from expressing who we are, you know, it's very difficult for us to make lasting or effective close ties with others because we're not able to really make those connections. You know, I feel like a lot, especially, you know, if you are an air or fire sign, a lot of how we fall in love, a lot of how we feel for others is through communicating, it's through getting to know somebody and letting them get to know you. So I feel like if you're with somebody, you know, maybe you guys have been together for a long time and you've just kind of gotten a little lazy and you know, or maybe you know you've had some scuffles and so now you feel a little bit of a block. You're not really sure how to communicate with this person because you don't want to argue. Either way, if you want, if you're in if that's the case, if you're in the relationship, find a way to mend the miscommunication, find a way to mend that miscommunicative energy, because you can't thrive that way. Okay, and if you are single, try and do some investigative work on yourself, figuring out where this block began, because it might have started with maybe people were miscommunicating with you. Maybe you've been lied to, so you're having trust issues. Maybe people made promises to you that they couldn't keep or didn't intend on keeping. So you may have trust issues in your current relationship, or you may not even feel like fully comfortable getting into a new one because of those types of things. But like I said, you've got all of this passion, you know, you've got all of this fire. Don't let it don't let it burn out. You know, you just got to hone in and focus it. What is it that you need and that you want? Okay? The second card you pulled is the Two of Stones, or the Two of Pentacles in reverse. This is what it looks like upright. So, like I said, frazzled, disorganized energy, kind of imbalanced. For some of you who are in a relationship, maybe one of you or both of you have spent so much time worrying about your career or something outside of the relationship that now the relationship has gotten a little rocky, or you guys aren't talking as much as you used to, or you know, lines may be getting crossed. Like, and if you are single, same thing. Maybe you've been focused so much on your career, and then you know this other part of your life, you know, the passion in your life, or you know, dating or things like that have kind of like fall by the wayside because you're so focused on this other area. And now you're kind of feeling like, well, I don't really want it to be that way anymore. And if that's the case, that's a great sign of just, you know, to me, whenever we don't want something anymore, or whenever we don't want something to be the way it is anymore, I feel like we tend to get upset and we're just like, oh no, it's just a sign from your own mind telling you like this isn't what I want anymore, and that's okay. You can change it. You have options and you are powerful. So this imbalance, you know, should you want to put it right, if you care to salvage or to maintain your relationships, your romantic relationships, or if you're out here like seeking a new one, know that you can do that. You just you need to do some healing and some mending on your priorities, and you know, communicate from a space of who you really are, not who you have been, and don't base other people and your impressions on them of who you've been with, because they're not them. And if they are, if you're like in a current relationship and maybe your partner has changed but you still see them for what they once were, that keeps you both stuck. Okay, so yeah, I feel like the key to getting through these blockages is through your passion and finding out where it really lies. Okay, the next card you pulled is Ace of Bows or Ace of Wands in reverse, which is Spark. So what it looks like upright. Interesting. So like I said, it kind of reminds me of with the Two of Stones, like you may feel distracted, or you're a passionate person, but you're finding it difficult to focus that energy. Maybe you've been with somebody for a while, and you both have just like things going on in your personal lives that have distracted you from each other, or maybe you're single and things in life have just kept you from really focusing on any kind of romance or things of that nature. But I think that with the next card being the Stag or Justice, it's going to get put right. So I feel like this may have been what you've been going through in your love life, feeling like miscommunication or unable to communicate, or trust issues with people. Maybe people have like I said, made you promises they couldn't keep. Maybe work life has been on your mind, and maybe you found it difficult lately to find a balance, and you need to reprioritize. Maybe you felt very distracted, very frazzled. But with the Justice, no matter what's gone on, it's going to get put right. If you've been the one who's been making promises you can't keep, you're going to have to stop. If people have been making promises to you they can't keep, they're going to knock it off. Like this, I feel like these cards are going to get put right. And what's funny is I just realized, facing you, they are upright. Facing me, they're in reverse. So the energy I'm feeling is this is going. This kind of frazzled, disorganized energy, this imbalance is going. And what's coming next for you, regardless of if you're single or not, is Justice, right? Things getting put right. I feel like you'll find your passion, you'll find your voice again. And the key is through here. Like it says, like finding the balance within the intensity and moving away from the chaos. Right? Moving away from this to find the calm at the core, right? The core of who you are. Like I said before, what do you need to feel loved? What are you passionate about? What makes you excited to live life, and what makes you excited? What makes you fall in love with someone? You know what I mean? The advice that you have gotten from the goddess oracles, the first card is Maya, Illusion, which is interesting. And she's all pink. Lots of red going on over here. And she's pink. So this says to me that, like, regardless of what's going on in your love life externally, there are things that are going on behind the scenes that you just may not be aware of. But it's all, for your highest good. And you're going through some life lessons. And whatever you're learning as far as love and relationships go is going to be of value to you later. But you don't have all of the puzzle pieces yet. Let's see what it says in the book. When you look at the world, everything you see appears to be real. So it's easy to imagine that your current conditions are influenced only by obvious actions and calculated movements. This is an illusion, as everything is intrinsically connected, though not visible to us due to the limitations imposed on our perception by our five senses. Hindu goddess of illusion Maya calls you to trust that the invisible world is responding to your deepest desires and intentions to make a better life for yourself and others. You are able to see through the curtain of illusions. Your clarity and intuition is heightened as your next steps are sure-footed. When the goddess Maya chooses to help you, trust that everything you need arises from your world with ease. Right? You guys are moving away from the chaos. And you're finding, even though, like I said, I feel like you guys are so fiery, like you're so passionate, that passion is going to somehow calm you. It's going to somehow center you. Yeah, I feel like you guys are going to find peace and harmony in your love life through your passion, and your passion will, this, just the focus on it, just the meditating on it will kind of break the illusion that it's not all just about what's out here, you know what I mean? There are other things going on, and it's all of value. The last card you pulled is Nimicine, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, and she represents the past. So to me, this corresponds with Maya. Like, if things are going on behind the scenes, most of the time, to me, it is because there are lessons being learned, there's healing to be done, and it's connected with, you know, the past loves. Or if you're in a relationship, you know, if you guys have been together for a long time, I feel like some of you have been together for a long time, recognizing that, you know, the past is the past. You can think that you know yourself, or, you know, your lover or whoever very well, because you've been with you, or you've been with them for such a long time, but it doesn't really work that way. We're constantly changing, and like today will eventually be the past tomorrow, right? So let's see what it says in the book. There are certain moments within your personal history that hold great treasure for you now. When you examine your memories, which are the domain of the Greek goddess Mnemosyne, empowered wisdom is revealed. The lessons you find are the sacred talismans contained within your past, like fossils in amber. Right now, you can trust your instincts that if something brings to your mind your past, it indeed has a kernel of the old in the new. This is an amazing opportunity to make informed choices and do things differently. This goddess has another powerful message for you. There are many choice points in life where you have the power to make beautiful changes and become more creative, empowered, and alive. Yes, sometimes memories that live in the cells of your body will trigger palpable fear, but you can move beyond your past to discover new territories, and a new vision of freedom will come to you. You won't see the past the same anymore. As wisdom replaces numb acceptance, the memories will change because you've changed. This freedom is gained by willingness and curiosity. Relationships become rich with potential, and all your natural choices will no longer fall into old patterns that are not serving you. The goddess Mnemosyne wants you to experience this miracle. Yeah, change is on the horizon for you guys. And like I said, I feel like some of you are, you know, you've been in relationships, you've been in them for a long time. So you just need to reignite your passion, and that comes from who you are. Put these cards upright, you know what I mean? Like, remember who you are and express that. Your ideas, even if they seem silly, just let them come out, you know what I mean? Allow people to get to know you, and if you're single or not, even if you've been with someone for the past 20 years, like, let your partner get to know you again. Okay, find some balance with your work and your love. Like, remember that you to have like a really full life, it needs to be full. You can't just put all of your eggs in one basket. Get organized so that you feel like you have the time to focus on other things that really just make you feel happy, right? Find that spark again, and understand that justice will prevail. Whatever's been like upside down or topsy turvy is going to get put right again. Okay? That's all I have for you guys. It looks pretty good to me from where I'm sitting. So, um, let me know down below what you think. What lights your fire? So yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much, group number 2, for sharing your time and your energy with me. I really appreciate it. The magic in me honors the magic in you. Be well. Bye. Hey, group number 3. Those of you who chose Carnelian, and it's so funny that you did, because Carnelian to me corresponds with like confidence, empowerment, self-empowerment, and that is definitely the theme for you guys. You need to take back your power. If you have felt victimized, I I feel for you. I sympathize, I empathize, but that is not going to get you the love and the warmth that you are seeking. You've got to step out of victim and blaming and all of that stuff and into your power, your personal power and authority. Take authority over yourself, okay? Don't allow yourself to be victimized by others, and don't villainize others either. I feel like some of you guys have had a history of getting into relationships where, you know, you felt victimized and you villainized them, and then it was just, it left both of you feeling depleted and tired. And I just feel like you guys come out of that. You know what I mean? I feel like you are too. I think so. For the overall message of the reading, you've pulled authority, which is 10. So I'm getting that you are on the brink of this, or this is the journey that you're on right now. Taking back your power, because it's a love reading, but so love isn't just, oh, we meet, we fall in love, everything's great. Like, love can be a mirror. Being in relationships, they're mirrors that they reflect back to us things that we have to work on, things we need healing. And especially if they've been like soulmate relationships, especially the most tumultuous relationships usually teach us the most, right? But I feel like you guys have been kind of ignoring the lessons that you learned and just keep going back into it, kind of resisting learning the lesson, because it's almost like, that if you know better, you have to do better, and you're not really ready to do better. So you're like, no, I'm just gonna, keep at my old tricks. But you can't, you gotta let that habit go, okay? Because you guys are so much more powerful than you give yourself credit for. And I know that may be scary, stepping into your power. It may be scary to let go of blaming and shaming yourself or others, because that would mean that you really have to, show up for life, show up for love. But you can do it. You can do it. You have to believe in yourself, okay? The card says the frequency of authority reminds us that true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. Right. So you can step into your power and claim authority and autonomy over yourself without being abrasive or brash to other people. Okay. So don't think that you're going to end up being mean or anything like that, because I feel like a lot of you guys are probably people pleasers as well, or like to come off as mild because you don't want to shake things up, or you don't want to make people think ill of you. But that's not a very valuable use of your time. Okay? The first tarot card you pulled is the Five of Stones, or the Five of Pentacles in reverse. In this deck, in the Wildwood Tarot deck, it's called Endurance. This is what it looks like upright. So this is good, because usually with the Five of Pentacles, it's like not the best energy. It's like, it's very heavy energy. It's kind of like not seeing the forest for the trees, like feeling, like I said earlier, kind of like depleted. But in reverse, that lets me know that you guys are kind of ready, or at least parts of you are ready to let go of your victim stories surrounding love, or let go of some of maybe the past pain that you've held on to surrounding love. And the next card you pulled is the Journey, or the Death card in reverse. So, and this is what it looks like upright. Kind of spooky. But to me, that's just saying, on a surface level or on a conscious level, you are resistant to change. You are resistant to letting go of past pain, or letting go of, the victim villain scenario that you've been dealing with in your love life. But on a subconscious level, this transformation has already begun, and it would behoove you to allow it to happen, to release some of that resistance to it, because it's for your own good. It's for your highest good, because you guys are really loving. You you want to be loved and you want to love. I just feel like you haven't really learned what that looks like yet. And that's okay. There's no perfect way to live or to love. There's only the right way for you. So you're just learning that right now. But like I said, you're a little bit resistant to the change that is naturally occurring. So I would say do some shadow work to try and figure out why you're so resistant and where is this coming from. Do some self-investigation, right? And maybe it's like from your guardians or your parents, or how you saw love growing up, or the things that people told you growing up about love, the movies that you watched, the music that you listened to. Pay attention to all of it so that you can kind of like start undoing some of these patterns that you've just like fallen into and just been so comfortable with, because they're not serving you anymore. Okay, the next card you pulled is the King of Arrows or the King of Swords in reverse. So that's letting me know, like, yeah, you don't have all of the wisdom yet. You don't have all of the necessary knowledge that you need to move forward in your love life, to figure out how to actually have a satisfying and fulfilling love life. And you're lacking a little bit of self-discipline, and I feel like that corresponds with authority. You know, spirit wants you to take authority over your life and your own self and your own choices. Don't allow yourself to be anybody's victim. You're not a victim, okay? You're strong, and you are not the lowest point of your life, okay? You are a beautiful and divine being. So please try to remember that and gain some confidence in yourself, because it will serve you and you really deserve it. The last tarot card you pulled is the Four of Vessels or the Four of Cups upright. So to me, you're kind of like at a stalemate with your love life. I'm not sure if you are with somebody, but I'm feeling like you're not. Most of you are not. Or, you know, if you are, it's not feeling as good as you would like it to right now. But I feel like this stalemate is happening because you are needing to go through this transformation, and you're needing to gain some insight and some wisdom about yourself, and you need to do some shadow work to figure out why these patterns have been occurring and why you feel the way that you do in the first place, right? So allowing this death to happen, this necessary death to happen, will open you up to make better choices and take some real authority over your life. Okay? The advice that you've received from the goddess oracles is Gaia in reverse and white buffalo calf woman. So the first is Gaia in reverse. This is what she looks like upright. Very beautiful. So right away, like, that tells me, yeah, you guys have to work on your confidence and your self-nurturing and your self-care, and you need some healing. But let's see what it says in the book. When you scatter your energy and allow fear to take root, you can become ungrounded or out of touch with your environment. You become disconnected from your true nature as a spiritual being having a human experience. The need now is to look at the cracks in the foundation of the life you've built. When even one aspect of your life is out of alignment, it affects everything else. Ground yourself with Gaia, the Earth Mother. She wants you to enjoy creating the world you live in. Your alignment task is to take a fearless inventory of where, how, and with whom you live your life. Is your energy draining from the choices you are making? Are you physically exhausted? Do you accept less than your value? Your efforts must now be to repair the foundation of your life and begin again. You will be so thrilled with the results and wonder why you didn't do it sooner. The goddess Gaia is supporting your every move. Right? You guys, you need to work on yourself a little bit, and you've got to figure out why you're making the choices that you're making. And if there are people in your life, or if there's somebody in your life, if you are unsatisfied with your partner, or if you don't have a partner but you're unsatisfied with the way that things are going with dating or whatever it is, look within. The answers are within. And when you clear out some of this negative energy, and when you allow yourself to go through this necessary transformation, it'll really transform everything else, and you will feel so much better taking authority over your life. You will feel so much better coming at everything from a standpoint of, you know, inner strength, and you'll be able to trust yourself again. Okay? It'll be so much easier for you to trust others when you can trust yourself. All right? And the last card you pulled is White Buffalo Calf Woman, upright. Reverence. And it says, now is the time to view your world through a lens of peace, harmony, and reconciliation, the domain of the Lakota goddess White Buffalo Calf Woman. It's time to leave the right, wrong, good, bad, zero-sum game world behind and enter the space where you can find the sacred ground of sharing without guile and negotiation. Oh, and negotiating from a desire that everyone benefits. You will be so glad you did. Take a humble yet grounded approach to your life right now. Only good will come of it. The goddess White Buffalo Calf Woman supports this way of being in the world. Right. Let go of the pointing fingers and the blaming and the shaming of yourself and others, because we're all on our journeys, and I'm not condoning, if you've been really hurt by others, I'm not condoning that. But what I'm saying is stop living your life by it, right? Respect yourself. Respect yourself and respect others. And when people throw negativity at you, just bless them on their journey and just walk away. You know what I mean? I feel like when we blame and when we do things like that, it causes us to hold on, when what we should be doing is just releasing and letting go. I feel like there is real love trying to break into your life, but you've got some growing to do, and that is perfectly fine. That is perfectly okay. But just step into your authority. Find ways, do things that make you feel good about yourself and good and confident in yourself and your abilities, okay? And learn, be open to learning and be open to change. It's for your good. I know it may be scary, but on the other side, it's going to be so much better than you can imagine right now, okay? That's all I got for you guys, group number 3. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy with me. I really appreciate it. The magic in me honors the magic in you. Be well. Bye. Hi, group number 4. Those of you who chose Rose Quartz. And that's really fitting, because I feel like the overall energy for you guys is self-love and kind of triumph through self-love, and breaking old cycles, because you let yourself be who you really are and embrace that regardless of what other people have said or are saying. I feel like you guys are on your way to being surrounded by unconditional and really just all-encompassing love. There's just a few kind of like murky things that are either coming to an end or have ended. So some of you may be in like a kind of heartbroken phase right now, or in a relationship that you're not satisfied with, and it's probably going to either completely change or just separate very soon. But I'm getting that most of you have just like come out of relationships that had a lot of like power struggles, maybe some jealousy, maybe your partner couldn't support you or wasn't very kind. I feel like some of you have been like a light that people in your life have tried to dim, but you're letting go of that. So the overall energy for you guys is prosperity. So that's amazing, right? And I feel like with this, it's like you are prosperous, you are abundant. Like I said, you guys are a light, and I feel like you are coming into a time where in your love life, that's not going to be intimidating anymore. That's not going to be a hindrance anymore. If you've had some strain in your money or had some strain in power dynamics and relationships to do with money. I feel like that time is ended, it's over, and you're stepping into a really prosperous and abundant time all around in your life, and that's going to attract really good, loving energy into your life. But it says, the frequency of prosperity supports our feeling of well being by allowing the inclusion of everything that makes our body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit sing. It invites us to express ourselves in joy and celebration of the abundance and riches that the universe provides. So I feel like, yeah, this is you guys in your natural state. This is your energy. Like, if you look at this card, it's so vibrant and colorful, and like there's so much going on. And that's you. You guys are very attractive. And I feel like maybe in the past you've attracted partners who couldn't be your partner because they were too busy being jealous of you or jealous of the attention that you got. Like I said, there could have been power dynamics at play that were unhealthy. And the first tarot card you pulled over here is the Woodward, or the Strength card, in reverse. So I feel like there may just have been a lot of stress. Your energy may have felt depleted. You may have felt weak in relationships, or you just didn't have the norm, like the all of the energy that's usually, available to you, because it was just kind of like these relationships were just like weighing you down, or the relationship you just got out of was kind of like weighing you down. But that just says to me that you need to rest. So if you're looking for like some confirmation that you need to take a break from someone, or just like love and like dating and everything all together, that's confirmation of that. Like, you need to take a break so that you can recharge, because I just get the feeling that, like I said, you may have been in situations where people were jealous, or there was like a lot of like push and pull, and people are trying to control you, or maybe you felt very controlling, and that can also be a depleting energy when you feel like you've got to control somebody else and you're also trying to live your own life. Like, it's just unhealthy. So I think you guys definitely need to rest and recharge when it comes to your whole life, but specifically with your love life. And the next card you pulled is the Knight of Arrows, or the Knight of Swords, in reverse. And that just, like, I'm hearing like petty, like I'm hearing like that's just, maybe you've dealt with people who tend to be petty or manipulative, or maybe this was you in the past, and you've said or done some things that in relationships that you're not too proud of. But it's almost like, you've been around certain people, or you've been in relationships with certain people that weren't necessarily bringing out the best in you, or you weren't bringing out the best in them, and it was just like kind of like an exhaustive situation to be in. So, and like the next card you have is the Wheel in reverse. So that just kind of confirms it to me. Like, you may have, it doesn't all have to be bad. I'm not saying like every relationship you've ever been with sucks. I'm just like, you've had a pattern here, or like a cycle here, of people not being able to see the best in you, or seeing it and being like jealous of it, or covetous, or something to do with like, like sometimes we get in these relationships where we think our partners should be rooting for us and cheering us on, and be happy for us when we get attention or whatever it is. But it's the opposite, right? It can get a little, manipulative or draining on our psyche. There can be like conflict. And with the Wheel in reverse, that's telling me, I feel like, yes, it's been tumultuous. It's been kind of like not what you wanted, but with the Five of Bows in reverse, which is the next card you pulled out of the Wildwood Tarot. It's the Five of Wands in traditional tarot. That's letting me know that this is something that's going to come to an end if it hasn't already. It's a cycle. The wheel is just like telling me like this was a cycle that you were in, and it makes sense. I feel like we all have certain cycles and patterns around relationships and romance. Like we date a lot of the same kind of person, even if they are like personality wise completely different or look completely different, come from different places. How they treat us or the habits we get into in those relationships can tend to look very similar to the ones that we had before if we haven't gone through the proper healing and breaking those cycles. So I feel like this is saying like it was a cycle, it's coming to an end, because the Five of Wands is like usually like about conflict. And like I said, this seems like, you know, you've been in conflict with people before, where it was supposed to be loving, it was competitive, or where it was supposed to be trusting, it was, you know, jealousy or whatever. And it could have been both of you guys just weren't necessarily bringing out the best traits in each other, or maybe it was just, you know, one of you. But to me, it's never really just like one person. It's like usually there's, because we're mirrors for each other, right? We reflect back to the other what, you know, we each need to work on or what needs to be healed. So with it in reverse, I feel like it's like, okay, I'm realizing these things are happening. I'm realizing these patterns, and I'm letting this go. I'm walking away from this conflict. I don't want this drama anymore. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. It's not all bad, because it's like I feel like you're getting it. Like you're like, I'm not going to dim my light for anyone anymore. You know? And the advice cards that you got from the Goddess Power Oracle. The first one is the Sun, Yi. And just, she's just so opulent. She's glowing. She's glittering. Like if she walked into a room, you'd notice her. I feel like you guys are the type of people where if you walk into a room, you are noticeable. And that's why I'm saying there could have been like some jealousy in the past, because when you are such a bright light, you attract, and you may not attract, you know, all of the best people sometimes, but for a partner, especially one who isn't secure in themselves, that can be intimidating. And if they are not only insecure, if they are also, you know, an aggressive type of person, that can turn into jealousy, possessiveness, and feeling like they've got to dim your light so that other people don't flock to you as much because they're trying to keep it to themselves. Or maybe they feel like your light somehow undermines their own, or whatever it is. But I feel like the advice for this being here is saying, like, don't dim your light for anybody ever again. You just need to go ahead and shine. And I feel like somebody's going to come along, especially with this prosperity, right? About attracting. So it's like somebody's going to come along who shines just as brightly. And so you guys will just go on to be like, you know, these beautiful lights in the world together and do amazing things. But let's see what it says in the book. When you shine your light into the world, you will attract various people and experiences that match or challenge your commitment to being empowered. Right now, you are receiving information to know which choice to make, which opportunity to take, and which person to trust. The Aboriginal Australian sun goddess Yi illuminates your path with her rays and brings clarity as she shows you what you need to know. A bright light also attracts a lot of bugs, so know that you may also attract those who see themselves smaller as a result of your empowerment. This is conditioning that needs to be healed in many people in the world. All you can do is be incandescent and joyful, kind and truthful, and the world will begin to reflect the goddess back to you. The goddess Yi is happy to help you shine. Yeah. So, you know, you've attracted some bugs, It's not the first time, won't be the last, but you can't allow that to influence you being authentically you out in the world. We need more light. So you just really need to let yourself shine. And the unconditional love that you're seeking, the acceptance, the fun, the joy, your match will find you. As long as you keep shining, they will find you. And the last card that you pulled is Artemis. Focus. Focus on doing you. Focus on being you. Focus on attracting all of this prosperity. Focus on finding ways to shine even brighter than you thought you could, you know, especially if you've been in kind of like an exhausting and depleting relationship or relationship cycles. If you've, like, you know, had a lot of heavy energy around you, it may take some time to really like fully come into like the big beautiful bright star that you are, you know. So focus on yourself, I think, and your endeavors. And I think like you won't be, if you're alone, you won't be for long. I think that you guys are really attractive, and like I said, you may attract bugs. It's not going to be the first time or the last, but it's like you'll know, I'm done with all of that. I'm breaking that cycle. So I'm just going to hold out for, you know, someone who burns as brightly as me, right? But let's see what it says in the book. In order to fully embrace the intentions you have set in motion and your current conditions, it's important to seize the moment. Now is the time you can truly make your mark, as the Greek goddess of the hunt, Artemis, will help you guide your arrow. Surrender yourself to the process of whatever is calling your attention. Immerse yourself fully in whatever needs your focus, and allow yourself the experience of deep, abiding trust. If you aim true and your heart is open and pure, grateful for all the bounty that surrounds you, your deepest desires will manifest before you like magic. Yeah, you guys are really lucky. Like, there's so much good, positive, prosperous, abundant energy that is surrounding you, that you are embodying. So like, if you are currently like got your eye on somebody, but you just like got out of a relationship, or, you know, if you're just trying to create a new way of being in relationships, or whatever it is that you're trying to do, give it your full focus and attention, because you are like a magnet for good things going on right now. Now is definitely the time. Like, to me, this seems like past energy, and this seems like present future energy. Like, you went through all of the stuff, you've learned the lessons, you're breaking the cycle, you're coming out of it, like you're done with the drama, and now you're coming into your full, like, vibrant self, your true authentic self, like you're glowing up. That's what I feel like. Like, you guys are on like a glow up path right now. So have fun. Have fun. You don't need to have it all figured out right now. You don't need to know, you know, to know who you need to be with for the rest of your life, or if you got your eye on somebody and they just like pull at your heartstrings so strongly, like go for it, but just like have fun with it and be light. Really be light and bright. Okay? That's all I've got for you guys. Group number 4. Please let me know down below if this resonated with you. Let me know what's going on. What was all this that ended, and you know, what are you working on? That's so cool. It's so amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy with me. I really appreciate it. The magic in me honors the magic in you. Be well. Bye.